Hope you're doing well. I didn't post a video for the last 2 days because I just wanted to sit and really think about what happened. So on the 24th of June, we hit a max loss, $136. So, max loss day, and we're gonna review the recording for that. But the day started off as any other, started off slow with no notable moves, and then, we saw a few pops between 7 to 7:30 up until around 8:30, and that's when I took the trade on FRTT. And just to give a bit of context on what happened that day in particular, so PLSM was up around 360% that day, so I didn't trade that. I missed a move on that. I was watching it in real time and saw it go without me, so that created a sense of FOMO, which I carried over into this trade right here. So you can see why this wouldn't have been a good ticker to play with just from looking at the order book, right? Because the order book is very hollow. But in the moment, I'm compromised, right? I just didn't realize at the time, but I really was compromised. I thought, because I missed the PLSM move, which it was such a good move, now I have to, I now have to take that risk because I missed that entire move up. Now I have to take an added risk to try to, make up for some, I didn't even lose in the first place, but make up for missing the opportunity. I mean, as crazy as that sounds now, just in the moment, I'm emotionally compromised in that sense. So, anyways, we fast forward here to FRTT, and my gosh, you can see what happens here. Pops up. Hollow order book is why I shouldn't have traded this in the first place, right? And then, okay, we saw like a pullback right around there, but even that, it's like, the swings on that is just too much. So, yeah, I mean, this thing could have just easily dropped, right? We don't really have too much, selling. Like we don't have like it's a very uneven order book, and support could just be gone like that, and this thing could just drop, which actually did. So I was caught on the backside for the sticker here. Ended right at the top there, and it flushed down pretty quick. So and I mean I got lucky on this trade really because I should have been down more than definitely more than 130. I was trying to get out though, and I couldn't get out. So problem with the execution on you know Weeble's part. I mean I'm not too sure. I think I just my For some reason, my orders didn't get filled there, but because at one point I was down like $400. So, and then it comes back up. And that is by luck. I mean I should have gotten out sooner, but at this at this point I'm just holding on, trying to see if I could make a little bit of it back. So, this thing could have easily just kept flushing down and I would have been down, quite a bit, quite a bit. So I think we get out right around what's it, 4.7, 8. Just trying to get out there. Okay, we got out around 136 and this thing just flushes down. Yeah. So that was trade on Wednesday, right? So in that moment, hit more than my max loss. My max loss should be under 100, but hit more than my max loss, and I just called it a day. I don't want to play around with trading anymore because I didn't want to make that loss bigger. So took a step back and took Thursday off because I just needed some time to reflect on how can I prevent this from happening in the future. And then coming into Thursday, we made up for that loss here on ZDAI. So you can see that we caught the pullback right there. And even this was a little bit of a rushed entry, so I need to work on just being patient, calling out levels, and then, just keep reminding myself that there's so much opportunity out there. You just have to be able to survive long enough to capture opportunities like this. Right? But even this one was a little bit tough to trade. So if I just go back here, yeah, so you can see that execution here. Caught the pullback right around 4. Um, Around there. Pops. So I tried to sell. I thought, okay, I was nervous again, thinking about what happened on Wednesday. Thankfully, you know, we held it, and and then now I was trying to get out. So I mean, this everything could have been improved with this. It's just, everything could have been improved. Yes, I was looking at the right ticker, but like, entries, exits could have been improved. I was just trying to get out of that position, but I made up for the loss on Wednesday. So taking a look at the TradingView journal here. So what I had written down for just individual trades in general. Take a look at the calendar here for the month of June. I mean, it looks a lot better compared to April, but still a lot more improvement needed. So yeah, this is a max loss day. So much I could have done better just in terms of handling that emotion better, right? Realizing that now I'm emotionally compromised. Take a step back, right? There's no point in being aggressive like that because this isn't the first time that's happened, right? This isn't the first time that this has happened to me, so I need to just really pay attention to that. And then coming into Friday, thankfully we managed to catch a good trade. So I wasn't, that loss was still in my mind kind of. So that affected the way that I executed the trade from today. Um, but overall, I made back the loss. And take a look at real quick here, RTT. So yeah, so my thesis for the losing trade was enter pullback at 6 for a squeeze of 650. Instead, we pulled back down to 4. Um, and I basically put myself in a position where I could have lost a sizable portion of the account just due to not cutting that loser quicker and getting caught on the backside. Like it could have been preventable entirely. Knowing that there was a hollow order book, I shouldn't have touched it in the first place. I ignored that only because I missed the opportunity on PLSM, and this caused me to become more aggressive and sensitive to FOMO when that next ticker popped up. 1% improvements. Do not observe how others are doing in the markets, right? Focus on myself and what I can control. And then also recognize that opportunities always exist and that, I am sensitive. Um, now I'm realizing this that, I become emotionally triggered when I missed a previous ticker move, right? If something pops up and I miss it, that affects how I go into the next trade. I could be more emotionally, well, I could be more aggressive in essence. So just, keep me that in mind for the future. And yeah, just following people online. So, really just trying to drown out the noise and just uh focus on, what's in front of me. Don't worry about what other people think. Just focus on what's in front of me. And of course, I bought at the top and there was a clear topping tail on that 15-second chart. I got caught on the backside of that. So um not good. Definitely not good. And then 38. So thesis here, micro pullback around 3.9, looking for the squeeze up past 4. We squeezed up to 470 and then pulled back. So I actually got it right at the top. 1% improvements for next time, slower market. So today was a very, especially early in the morning, it was a slow market. So I was sort of scrolling online. I was a little bit distracted today, so I wasn't monitoring the charts as attentively. And also because of that, when I came into the ZDI trade, I did not call out levels. The entries were very rushed, right? So I should have been looking first at a level 2, identifying key levels of support and resistance, and then looking at the chart. It could have been a lot better if I'd just been attentive in the first place. Even though it's a slower market, we always want to show up and give it our best. So yeah, that's just my lessons from the trade that I took on Wednesday and the trade that I took today on Friday. And hope you guys are all green out there, and I'll see you next week.